Hello everyone, this is Sudipto from Technical Potpourri and welcome to my new video. Today I'll be discussing about all the new development Apex related enhancement that is coming along with our summer 22 release. So without any further delay, let's dive in. Before I begin, I'd like to let you know that if you have any feedback, please put it in the comment section of this video. And finally, please subscribe to my channel to get notification of all my upcoming videos. So the first feature that I'll be discussing today, with the summer 22 release, you can secure your Apex code with a user mode database operation. This new feature is currently in a beta stage, but this feature is a very powerful feature. So let's see how we can get advantage from this new feature. For that, I need to go to a pre-release org and write some code to see what we can do with this new feature. So let's go to our pre-release org. So here I am in my pre-release org and I'm currently logged in as a system administrator. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new field on my account object. Before that, let's do some quick things. Let's say I have a custom profile called custom system administrator. And what I'm trying to do, I'm going to create a new field on the account object, and in that new field I will not give access to this new profile. So let's say the name of the new field is, let's say it's a text field, and let's say the name of the new field is account full name or account old name. Now I'm going to give access to all the profile except this custom system administrator profile, and then save. So now here is my custom field. Now let me go to the developer console. So here I am in my developer console. I've written a very small class account fetch, and inside that there is a function called fetch accounts. Basically what it's trying to do is trying to fetch all the accounts that is available in my pre-release org. So I'm writing the SQL query select ID. At the same time, I'm going to fetch this new field, which is account old name from accounts. And if I try to execute this method, which is this method and this class, I'm sorry, if I'm trying to execute this method, this is a class name and this is the method name, and if I execute, what I can see from my log that I have 3 accounts available. Now if you can see here, this is my public class and this is my public void method, right? So Apex code always runs in a system mode. This is the by default nature, which means that it runs with the substantially elevated permissions over the user running the code. So what it means is that when you are running an Apex class, by default it runs in a system mode. It means that it will not check whether you as a running user is having access to this particular field or not. So let's say if currently I'm running as a system user, administrator user, I definitely have access. So the code ran very well. Now let's say I am going to log in as a different person from the same org, and I'm going to log in with this person, and this person is the custom system administrator. As you know, as I just discussed a few minutes back, this profile doesn't have access to this particular field. So now let's try to log in with this particular user. Now I logged in with this particular user, and this user doesn't have access to this custom field. And how we can check that, if I go here and run the same function, let's open the same account fetch class, and if I try to execute and open the log, it's telling I have 3 accounts. So what it's telling, even though I don't have access to this particular field, but since I'm running this Apex class, which always runs in a system mode by default, it does not check whether I have access to this particular field or not. But now with Summer 22 release, you can indicate the mode of operations. By indicating the mode of operations, you are basically telling Salesforce that respect the field level security that this particular running user is having. To do that, what we need to do with user mode, if I write that, it means I'm telling Salesforce that now run this entire code respecting the running user's field level security. So now if I go and execute, I'm getting an error message that no such column account old name on entity account, because the running user doesn't have any idea that there is a field called account name, account old name, because the field level security is off for this particular running user for this profile. So there are two things that you can do. Either you can write with user mode or you can write with system mode. So if you type system mode and then execute this function, it will execute absolutely fine, and it will show you that we have three accounts in this org. This use with system mode, you don't need to specifically mention because this is the by default nature. But if you want to do user mode, then you need to put this user mode thing with user mode. So this is the first feature that is coming with Summer 22 release. So let's move to the next feature. The next feature is that when you are marking a method as aura enabled, you cannot overload that method anymore. So let's go and explore this feature. Okay, so here I am in my pre-release org, and to explore this feature, what I am going to do, I'm going to open another function which I've already written, and which is, okay, let's say I have a function called get account data controller, and inside that I have a aura enable method called get accounts, which is basically fetching all the account from the system, and I am marking that method as aura enabled. Now the moment I make a method as aura enabled, I can't overload the function. By overloading, let's say if you try to understand what do you mean by overloading, I have given a very basic example here. Let's say I have a function called public static string say hello, and then I have the same function again, but this time this function is taking a parameter. So basically you can maintain the same name of the function with different parameters, right, or different return type. But the moment you make a function as aura enabled, you are not allowed to overload the function. Since I have marked this get account methods as aura enabled, I cannot make another get accounts method. If I try to do that, and try to save, during the compile time only, you'll get an error message that method is already defined. So this is something that is getting enforced, or that is coming up with Summer 22 release. With that, let's move to our next feature. Our next feature is how you can call an invocable action from your Apex class. It's in a developer preview mode, but let's explore this in our pre-release org. Now this feature is available in a developer preview, is only available at this point of time only in the Scratch org. So for that, I need to create a Scratch org, and then from there I need to explore this feature, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open my VS Studio. This is my VS Studio code, which is having all my code downloaded. Now before I create a Scratch org, I need to open the Scratch org definition file. So once you open this Scratch org definition file, in the feature section you need to add this one, which is basically call invocable action from Apex. Once you do that, you need to create your Scratch org, which I am doing right now. I'm creating a Scratch org, create a default Scratch org, I'm using this one, and let's say summer 22 demo. That's my scratch.org name. So scratch.org is getting created right now from my VS Code. Okay, so my scratch.org is ready. Let's open the scratch.org. So I'm opening the scratch.org. Here is my scratch.org, and here I am going to open my developer console and start writing some code. So first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create an invocable. First, I'm going to create an invocable class. Let's name it an invocable demo, and let's write some code. So here is a code. This is the class invocable demo. Inside the class, there is a method called getMessage, and what it's basically doing is basically sending a list of string. Inside the list of string, there is a message called hello world. But the important thing is that this message is an invocable method. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create another method, and I'm going to call this invocable method from my other Apex class. So let's create one more Apex class. And this is my Apex class. Inside the Apex class, this is the method which is basically calling the invocable demo. So the first thing is the invocable.action, and then you need to create a custom action. It's a type Apex, and name is invocable demo, which is coming from here, invocable demo. Once you do that, once you create the action, you need to call the invoke method. The invoke method will return you a result, which is basically the action result. Now from the action result, you can, since it's a list, you can always do a size to find out what is the result that is coming back. Is it success? Is the call response is success? And if it is success, what are the different parameters? So for example, get output parameters.get output, this will give you this hello world. So why don't I go ahead and run this method? I'll open my execute one again. This is the class name and this is the method name. So once I execute this one and open my log, what it's telling is that the result size is 1 because I'm getting only one response back. It is a true. The success is, the calling is success, and the result is hello world, which is basically here. So this is a way how you can invoke or how you can call an invocable method from your Apex class. This is going to be a very powerful feature, and I'm 100% sure that people will start using this new feature more regularly. So if you already started using this feature, please let me know how what is your use case, how do you like it, what are the different problems that you are facing. I am really interested to know the different feedbacks, right? So I'll be really happy, or I'll really appreciate if you put your feedback in the comment section of this video. Okay, with that, let's move to our next feature. The next two feature is one of my favorite. Is how you can call the external services registration from Apex and Flow. Basically, what it's telling is that with Summer 22 release, you can register an external service through drag and drop or through configuration, and then call those services either through Apex or through Flow. So my next two feature is basically in my next two feature, I'll be talking about how you can call those from Apex or from Flow, and I'm going to give you a demo also. So let's go for the demo. So what I am doing, I am using weather.gov API, and if I call the API with a different office code, it will give me different information or different forecast about from that office, or different information from that office. So here I am in my Postman, and this is a method like API weather.gov/offices, and these are the different office code that I'm having. So if I pass the Apex, if I pass the office ID as AKQ and send, it is telling me that this is these are the different, this is the address of the office. This is a telephone number. Basically everything you will get, you need to know for that office. Now this external service I'm going to register within Salesforce and then start calling this API from Apex and from Flow. For that, I am in my pre-release org. The first thing that I need to do, I need to create a name credential. I'll go to my setup, and here in my name credential, what I'm going to do, I've already created this name credential called weather. So here I am in my name credential. I have already created a name credential called weather, and basically this is the URL. So once you create your name credential, you need to go to the external service. You need to register the external service. So you search for external here and you click on this external services. And this is the external service that I'm talking about. Open my weather. And this my weather is basically having, these are the different action names. So the action that I am more interested is office. Now I'll be calling this action from my Apex class. So for that, let's open my Apex class. Okay, that's my Apex class. And inside the Apex class, this is my method called the office service. The first thing that I need to do, I need to instantiate my external service Apex class. So the external service, and then this is my weather is basically the name of the external service, my weather. And then I'm basically instantiating the external service Apex class. Once instantiation is done, then I'm going to create a request. I'm going to setting the request. Now here, as I said, like I'm more interested on the office one. So office _ request. So all the request and response is automatically created by Salesforce. All the request and response body will be automatically created by Salesforce. So you need to write the code in this way. Excuse me. External services my weather. My weather is the name of the external services, and this is the call office _ request. And then here we need to pass a parameter. If you see my postman, I'm passing a parameter AKQ, which is basically the office ID. So the same thing I need to do here, office ID. And office ID, let's say I want to pass AKQ. AKQ. This is my office ID. Once I do that, then I need to do the call out. For the call out, what I'll do, service is basically this one. .office is the name of the call, and then here I'm passing this request body. Once I pass the request body, once the call out is done, it will send me a response. And again, the response is automatically created by Salesforce. It's the same pattern, office _ response. For the request, it was office _ request. Office is the name of the action. So action name followed by _ request is the request, _ response is the response. So once you have this response, from that response, you can find out what is my response code, what is my postal code, what is the telephone of all this one. So if I execute this one now, here is the postal code is this, telephone number is this, and yeah, same thing here. So I'm doing the address.postal code, telephone number. So now if I execute this function here, which is this one, call the office services and execute, it's now doing the call out. So execution is done. Here is my log file, and now if I debug, error code is 404. Why? I forgot to save the file. My mistake. And now I'm going to call the same function again. Okay, so the call out is done. Let's open the new log, and as you can see, the response is 200, which is success. Postal code is 23888, which we can see here. Exactly the same thing. Telephone number ends with 4200. Telephone number ends with 4200. This is the way. So our call out is successful, right? So this is the way how you can register an external service and then call the external service directly from your Apex class. It's a very, very powerful feature. Now, can we do this from Flow? Yes, absolutely you can do this from Flow. And that is what I'm going to show you now. So for that, let's open a flow. I've already built the flow, but let's go through the flow now. So here is a flow, call the external services. So what the flow is basically doing, first it's a screen flow. In the first screen, it's asking, give me the office ID. Office ID is none other than these values, this three values, right? So what it's telling is that, give me the office ID. Once the office ID is there, it's going to call an action. It's going to call an action. Now, I think it makes sense that I'll show you how to do that. So let's say you click on this plus sign and click on this action. Once you do that, you'll find on your left side your my weather is already there, because this is an external services that you have already registered. So once you click on that, here you can type for office. Office is the action. Once you do that, give a name, call office action. We need to pass the office ID, and office ID you can always get from the previous screen. And this advance is basically whatever the response. Either you can store the response, you can manually save the response by assigning some values, or let the flow decide, let flow handle that. So if it is really not needed, I normally go with let the flow decide. So you can do that. And once you do that, in your next screen, what you can do, you can navigate through the response and then display the value in your screen. So for example, postal code, if I want to display the telephone number, right? You can easily do that by, let's say I want to, next to postal code, I want to print the telephone number, and the value is none other than output from call office, which is basically the call. Then this is the response. From the response, we want to print the telephone, and then done. Save as, and then I'm going to activate this flow. Now let's put this flow in the home page and see how it works. For that, let's edit the page. And from here, let's select the flow, put the flow here, and call the external services, save. And now if I come back, this is my enter office ID. So first let's choose one of this value. Next is doing the call out now. Okay, this is the postal code, this is the telephone number. This is the value that I'm getting from the call out. Let's put one more value like RAH. I'm getting a different postal code and telephone number. Let's validate that from our postman. So if I run the postal code ends with 5226 and telephone number ends with 1042. 52261042. So it means it is working. So this is the way how you can call an external services registration from your flow. I will be publishing some detailed video in this topic, specifically on this topic very soon. But I just want to give you a quick, quick look what are the new features that is coming through our summer 22 release. Okay, with that we have come to an end. I believe all these new features are going to help us doing our development in more secure and effective way. Please let me know which one is your favorite one. And you can write down your favorite feature in the comment section, or even if you have any feedback use case with these features, please put it in the comment section. Finally, I hope this video is helpful. Please hit the like icon and share, and please subscribe to my channel to get updates about all my upcoming videos. Till then, stay safe. Thank you. Goodbye.